just arrived yesterday. I live in Lucknow and have been an activist for about 27 years now in India. And what I am seeing now is unprecedented curb on fundamental rights of people. I myself, in the last 6 months, have faced 3 house arrests on 11th, 16th August after the Kashmir decision. Because we were going to organize a one-hour candlelight demonstration in Hazratganj in Lucknow. And then on 19th December, when there was nationwide protest against CA and RC, I was again under house arrest. And on three occasions, when I tried to visit Ayodhya, the police stopped us and sent us back. And once I tried to hold a press conference there, they arrested me and brought me back to Lucknow. And all this is happening without any written orders. So it's all illegal. The police is outside my house. They wouldn't let me go out. But let me tell you, what has happened with me is very mild compared to what has happened with my friends. On 19th December, my friend Advocate Muhammad Shoaib of the Rihai Manch and a Dalit retired IPS officer S.R. Darapuri, who was also a human rights activist, they were also under house arrest, which means they did not participate in the protests which were going on, but they were sent to jail. And Sadaf Jafar, Congress spokesperson, Deepak Kabir, human rights activist, Pawan Rao Ambedkar, lecturer in Raebareli, and Robin Verma, another activist who works for Rihai Manch. Rihai Manch is an organization which works to release Muslim youth who are falsely implicated in terror cases. And my friend Advocate Muhammad Shoaib has got 13 such youth acquitted from the court in UP. So, wonderful people working for human rights, all of them put in jail. And what was worse was they were tortured at the police station for 2 days. We did not know where the police were. The Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath, on 19th evening said he will take revenge on people. And then police unleashed a severe repression on people. People were tortured before being taken to jail. My friend Advocate Muhammad Shoaib was not even produced before a magistrate and did not sign any arrest memo, and he was in jail. But a good thing which has come out of all this is because of the severe repression on the movement and all the leaders in jail, it gave an opportunity to women to come out and organize protests. So Shaheen Bagh has become a model for the country now. There are two protests going on in Lucknow at Ghantaghar, where more than 1,000 women are assembled 24 hours a day, and another one going on in Gomti Nagar, where about 100 women are there. And similar protests in Kolkata, Ahmedabad, other cities are going on. I went to Aligarh Muslim University on 19 January. Students are organizing ongoing protests there. There's protests outside Jamia, very disciplined. And the government has accused people of violence, but the reality is that masked men, and we know from the JNU incident where they come from, they are the ones who have created violence and arson and rioting. And it's a shame that the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh has said that the cost of damage to property will be recovered from rioters. Now, unfortunately, all the FIRs which have been registered, I have seen one in Lucknow. Out of 39 names, 36 names are Muslims. And I have seen 2 in Muzaffarnagar, all the names are Muslims. So it is now assumed that the people whose names are there in the FIR are the ones who created riot and arson, and it is from them that the cost of damage to property is going to be recovered. This is really a shame, because without any inquiry, the people have been served notices of 2 crore, 3 crore rupees. So this is all human rights and all rule of law has been thrown to wind, and the UP government is behaving in a very fascist way. And we have resolved that this is struggle which is being led by women and students will go on until either the government takes back CA and NRC or the government itself goes?
Yes, yes, yes.